Welcome back to the Talking Hedge. I'm Josh Kincaid, Capital Markets Analyst and host of your Cannabis Business Podcast. Today, we're going to take a look at the market using our Investable AI-Based Cannabis Index. To help us do that is Rohit Srivastava, Chief Investment Officer and Portfolio Manager with Saroj and Bhanu Fund. Rohit, thanks for being back with us.
Thank you so much, Josh, for having me again. Just going to go with the regular disclaimer every time that we are doing this all for entertainment. This is all for learning perspective and entertainment. There is no financial advice given here. We're just trying to educate and try to see what we can teach people and also entertain them with our stuff. Starting with our cannabis index, this is not an investable cannabis index. This is just a gauging of where the cannabis market is going and how's it doing. It just like Wix tells you how the volatility, this is our cannabis equally weighted cannabis index, which just gives you an idea about how well the cannabis market is doing. And this is where we were in the inception of this podcast series. And this was where we were last week. It broke the 390, and it also was just falling apart there. But to see where it's going to get the support, it did revert back this week. But I'm not sure if that's a support. We will see in a couple of weeks if that's a support it tries to build on that around $3. From the cash flow, this last week it had like all the different stocks. It had like a huge crash going on, even a whole cash loss of more than $300 million in that market. In the cannabis market, it did recover a little bit of that, and that's basically just general or it's a trend of like whenever there's a huge loss, it tries to recover. People try to get in, start buying. Funds try to start buying in there. So that's where we are on the. Doesn't indicate anything that it's on the plus side or positive or negative side. It just tells that there's a huge sell-off that happened during that time, and there was a little bit of recovery out of that. From our cannabis index or short-term buying, this is what happened this week, and a lot of activity. We were already into 3 of the stocks. Last week, Altria, Kronos, and what was the other? Corbus Pharmaceuticals. We were in those 3, and it did sell some of them in the last course of 1 week. It also bought a lot of stocks based on some of the triggers we might have seen, and you can see those incredible gains out of those. And I mean, Hexo is probably like the biggest one. It's like 65% gain on that one. So overall, what it helped our fund is that it basically increased it to 42.79% gain overall from inception. And from performance this year, it basically around 12%, 11 to 12% gain in this year as compared to POTX or MJ 29 and 35%, negative 29, negative 35% gain. So again, reiterating to all our viewers the ability and the capability of AI-based system as to we were not invested for 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks when the market was tanking, and you might have seen the MJ and POTX, they both were probably crashing, and that's the huge value of the AI-based investment it is. Giving you an idea or a comparison of where our investable AI-based cannabis index is last week, where it was about 37%, we are about 42% this year, about 5% gain this last 1 week, with year to date about 7-8% gain in that. Versus you see the MJ and POTX, you can see that there was a huge gain on MJ and POTX as well. And this week has been probably the best week anyways for since 1933 or something, which probably you might have read about it. But overall, where we are on the investable cannabis indexes, we are still holding a couple of them. Innovative Industrial Properties, NBEV, and Tillery. Those are the 3 ones which we're still holding, and we're expecting Ankara. We're holding those and expecting a particular amount of gains on those as well, until if there is a sell-off signal on those as well. So overall, on a summary perspective, we have broken all the supports, 475, 390, and waiting to get another support. And we are holding 4 of these stocks, and we sold 3 of them in last couple of days. And from the investable AI-based index, we are about 42% gain and 11% gain from year to date. what from an overall perspective I would say is that it is totally ambiguous right now. There is no direction as to which direction the stocks might be moving. So overall, from if somebody is trying to invest into long term, if I want to invest long term into that, probably my view would be that I would just be waiting for the right time, unless it's an AI based and I know when to buy and when to sell and time the system by myself. Then probably I would be investing. And that's all I have for you today, Josh.
Yeah, it's from a trader standpoint, this is a great opportunity. There's lots of volatility, goes up and down. So if you can, like you said, if you can time that right, great. And if not, well, then AI is a perfect solution. So some great returns this last week. That's exciting.
Yeah. And I want to tell my viewers again that, the logistics and the dynamic of the structure of how this is designed to find an appropriate time when to get in and when to get out. Some of the like for example, Hexo, even today Hexo went 5-6% up, but that's not what the idea is. The idea is not to find the bottom and the top. The idea is to find a reasonable gain out of every transactions they're doing and get out of that.
So what are the limitations with some of the wash sale, for example? So with the volatility, how often can you repurchase the same security?
So the wash sale is only for the individuals. For a fund or even for day traders, there is no wash sale limitations on that. There is if you have not filed a form with SEC. There's a form with SEC where you can file and you can say that, I'm a day trader, this is my primary job, and anything related to that will not be considered as wash sale. So you can buy as many stocks, as many loss or profit you can have around that, and it will not be considered as wash sale. And that's why investing in a fund where it's doing a buy and sell based on that is probably more reasonable. There will be no wash sale aspect for any investor who's investing in Investable AI-Based Cannabis Index.
Because it might make sense for something like Hexo or InBev that's basically a penny stock. Percentage-wise, there might be some huge movements there.
Right. Yes. And there could be, and for individual, there might be impacting on the wash sale, but probably not for us.
Even more advantages, I guess.
Yes, exactly.
Perfect. Anything else?
Well, no, I think interesting times, and I am very excited to the way our cannabis investable cannabis index is going. I'm very excited. The returns and the comparison with MJ and POTX gives a really good size of how well our index is doing. I'm very excited about that. So I'm very thankful for that. So thank you so much for having me on this podcast. We'll definitely have something more exciting next week.
Looking forward to it. All right, appreciate it. That's Rohit Srivastava, Chief Investment Officer and Portfolio Manager with Saroj and Bhanu Fund. Thanks again.
Thank you.
All right, I'm Josh Kincaid. This is the Talking Hedge. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, or don't, and I'm out.